Hey there, podcast listeners. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of large language models, specifically how they're learning to think step by step. It seems like everyone's talking about chain of thought prompting or COT these days, but what's the real story? Is it really a game changer for all reasoning tasks, or is it more of a niche tool?
That's a great question, and one that's definitely worth exploring. Khan has made waves in the AI community, especially for getting LLMs to solve complex problems like math word problems. But the more we look into it, the more we realize it's not a magic bullet. Khan is definitely a powerful technique, but it has its limitations, and we need to be mindful of those.
So let's break it down. What are some of the key things researchers are finding about COT?
Well, for starters, a lot of the research on Kant is focused on mathematical reasoning. It seems like LLMs are particularly good at solving math problems when they're prompted to think step by step. But there's a surprising twist. When we look at tasks that don't involve math, such as common sense reasoning or reading comprehension, Kant often doesn't provide much benefit, and it can even hurt performance.
That's pretty interesting. Why would COT be so effective in one area and not in others? Is there some fundamental difference in the types of reasoning involved?
That's exactly what we're trying to figure out. A lot of the work on Kant suggests that the model isn't necessarily thinking in a deliberate or conscious way when it generates those intermediate steps. It's more like a learned pattern recognition process. And when it comes to math, those patterns seem to work really well.
So, you're saying that COT might be more about the model mimicking a specific way of reasoning, rather than actually engaging in deep thought?
Exactly. It's like the model is learning to follow a formula, and that formula happens to be very effective for math problems. But when we try to apply the same approach to more nuanced tasks, it doesn't always translate.
Okay, that makes sense. So what are some of the alternatives to COT that researchers are exploring? Are there other ways to get LLMs to reason more effectively?
Absolutely. One promising approach is called tree of thought, or TOT. It's like a more sophisticated version of Kant, where the model explores multiple reasoning paths simultaneously, instead of just following one single path. This can help the model identify better solutions that Kant might miss.
That sounds like a big improvement, but it's got to be way more computationally expensive, right? Imagine all those extra reasoning branches to explore.
You're right, TOT definitely comes with a cost in terms of computational complexity. It could take a lot more time to generate an answer. But here's where things get interesting. Researchers are finding ways to integrate the benefits of TOT into Kant without the added overhead. One way is to use TOT to generate training data, where the model learns to prefer the reasoning steps that TOT identifies as the best. This allows it to reason more effectively, while still keeping the inference process efficient.
Wow, so you can have your cake and eat it too, huh? You can get the benefits of a more deliberate reasoning style without sacrificing speed.
Exactly. It's a pretty clever approach, and is showing some really promising results. It's not just about finding better ways to prompt LLMs, but also about understanding what they're actually capable of learning, and then building on those capabilities in ways that are both effective and efficient.
This is fascinating stuff. So where do we go from here? What are some of the bigger questions that are still being investigated in this field?
Well, one big question is how to move beyond prompt-based Kant. We're seeing a lot of work on methods that involve search, interacting agents, and models that are more heavily fine-tuned for COT-style reasoning. These approaches have the potential to deliver even better performance, especially on tasks that aren't as well suited for traditional Kant.
Sounds like there's still a lot to discover. This whole area of LLM reasoning is really exciting and fast-moving. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens next.
Absolutely. It's like we're starting to unlock the potential of LLMs to really think and reason like we do. It's a huge step forward in the quest for truly intelligent machines. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back with more insights into the world of AI soon.